This time on Down Empire, I'm keeping you cool this summer. G'day guys, welcome back to Down Empire. This is quite possibly going to be the smartest thing you've ever seen me do. I'm going to make an aircon out of an Esky. So some of you may have seen this done before. There's a bunch of people that have done it on YouTube. It's definitely nothing new. The difference being with this design, I want to try and keep everything contained within the Esky. So once the lid's on and it's all closed up, it doesn't look anything unusual. And I've obviously chosen an old school Esky, and I have found an 12 volt inline fan which will run off a cigarette lighter. So the plan for this thing is this is going to be the ultimate AC for classic cars. So by the time it's all designed, it's literally plug and play, and you can take it in your weekender and you're going to have a nice cool car. So if you're like me and have more than one car, you just pop this out, throw it in this car. Next day you might want to take something different, throw it in that car. It's not a massive expense and it's going to keep you comfortable on mega hot days. So I'll give you the rundown and then we're going to get stuck into it. So I'll go through probably some of the parts as we go, but more or less it's some plumbing fittings. There's the inline. This is actually a bilge blower for a boat, and it's a fan with a 12 volt cigarette lighter attachment that I've just temporarily wired to it to test it. I've just got a double adapter here. We don't need to see that. Obviously the Gumtree Special Esky, which is like a 70s retro metal jobby here, and some tubing. You may as well just start cutting holes. Okay, so first thing I've got to do is drill out the hole for the fan. Most other versions of this either has a fan blowing in the top of the lid or mounted to the side, but I want this to look like an Esky. So I'm going to mount mine inside and obviously have the snorkel running straight out, so I've marked that. And you only really sort of half fill the Esky with ice anyway, so the fact that there's electricals in there shouldn't be an issue as long as you don't tip it over. And realistically the wire's running straight out the side anyway, so it should be all good. So I'm going to drill that hole now and then get this fan mounted, and then we'll go on to running some ducting. Alright, so hot tip, use a sharp hole saw because the metal was not easy. So I ended up moving the hole in slightly closer to the edge because I wanted to miss obviously this bracket here, and it actually fits really nice. So that's just going to fit in there snug. It actually sit there on its own anyway before I even do any more. I can either leave it like that, or I've got a little grid like this to install. Yeah, I'm not sure, or something like that. Unsure what I'll do with that yet, but I'll just get it up and running for now and keep plugging away. Alright, next up is to go to this adapter. The only reason I'm running the adapter is because I couldn't find any 75mm flexible tube local. I can get it online, but because I wanted to do this sort of today, I've just got an adapter. So yeah, I can step up to this size piping, and then once again, maybe for the next one I might order some stuff online to get the right size pipe. So I'll get that in now. Alright, so I got the prototype all mocked up. As you can see, I've just got the cord running out the side here with a little grommet. The fans jammed in place. I haven't even got that fixed yet, but it's staying there. I've just got this from J-Car. It was like $4.95. Plugs in. In the top there you can see, it literally just looks like a cup holder, to be honest with you. So that's just sitting in place now. Obviously I want to run this through its paces and see how it all works before I go fixing anything in there. But more or less you can see the workings are very basic. So basically now I've got to shoot down to the servo, get a bag of ice, fill it up with ice and a bit of water in the bottom, and give it a test out. Let's test this bad boy out.
How ridiculous is this? It's good though, it's working. It's working really good.
Okay, so I'm on the side of the road with no fuel in the fair lane again, and thank you to the subscriber who actually pulled past and offered to give me some fuel. How embarrassing, but anyway, I run out of fuel in this thing all the time because I haven't got a fuel gauge, and of course I never get around to fixing it. But this is a lesson learnt. The fuel pump in this car its electric fuel pump has actually been put in the back above the fuel level, like as in above the tank, and that is totally incorrect. Obviously when the car was fitted, there must have been fuel in the lines, and there's never been an issue until you run out, and then the fuel pump will not pick up the fuel because they're only a push, they're not a pull. So I've literally had to fill the line here from the front, fill the line and let it drain back to fill up the pump. Now I've got some ignition, it's pumped up, but other than that, you'd be knackered. So if you ever have issues with a fuel pump not working, check to see that it's actually lower than the fuel tank pump. Crucial information. Let's see how we go. Right. Fingers crossed. All right, here the fuel pump's picked up the fuel now. I'm not sure if you could hear that, but it was rattling really loud and then it went quiet, so hopefully. Loving it. All right, let's try again. All right, so I'm back from a drive around in the fair lane testing out the new aircon, and to be honest with you, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. Like, I think there's definitely room for improvement. So it's definitely not a waste of time, but there's a little bit of fine tuning to be done. So I haven't really tested it long enough to sort of get like a temperature reading inside the car or anything like that. But I'll still be fine tuning it. But look, I'd love to hear other people's feedback if they've done something similar, or what their alternatives are to like a cheap like aircon or sort of cooling system inside their car for summertime. So anyway, that's this episode of the Iron Empire, where I make a kind of aircon out of an Esky. So I'll keep refining it because I want to get this to work really good. Whether it's a bigger motor, more ice, different duct size, I'm unsure, but I'll keep refining it because I think this is there's definitely a market in it for people with classic cars or race cars or something like that. So yeah, I'll see you all on the upcoming episode of the Iron Empire. Cheers guys.